Hey guys, Ross here, and today I have a very simple but highly effective tip for playing guitar to the best of your abilities as often as possible. And it's got nothing to do with technique or timing or phrasing or theory, and everything to do with your mind and what's going on in your body when you're playing things that you would deem as hard or technically challenging, let's say. And I wanted to make this video because I recently posted a blues improvisation clip to YouTube and Instagram. And in that solo, there were some licks that for me are quite technically challenging to play. They're quite fast. And on Instagram, someone asked me, how do you remain so calm when you're playing things like that? When you're playing things that are technically challenging, things that are hard, and you're recording? And my answer was very, very simple. So simple, in fact, that I had to make it clear to the person that I wasn't joking when I said that the way I'm able to remain calm when playing things that are hard and on camera or in front of an audience is I remind myself to breathe. I remind myself to breathe throughout the entire performance without stopping. Because what I often find is when I'm playing things that are hard, is I can very easily put pressure on myself to execute it perfectly. And how that shows up in my body in the form of a physical sensation is I notice this tense, stiff, rigid feeling. It's like I'm tensing my arms and my back and everything in my upper body. When I become aware of that, I'll often also notice that I'm holding my breath. I've literally stopped breathing because I'm so anxious about executing this lick or whatever it may be perfectly. And that, of course, often results in me not executing it perfectly. It's like I tell myself mentally, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. But doing that, it's like when someone says to you, don't think of a pink elephant. You can only think of a pink elephant. When you tell yourself, don't mess up, all you really hear is mess up, and you do. So how I get over that, and it's a continual thing that it will always happen to me, I think, but how I get over that is to just remind myself to breathe. It sounds so simple. You're breathing right now. You don't really have to make any direct effort to do it. But when you're playing guitar, sometimes you do. You have to make the effort to remind yourself to breathe like a normal human being, even when you're playing things that are hard, or especially when you're playing things that are hard. Because if you don't do that, you hold your breath, it's only going to fuel that anxious, stiff feeling in your body that you get in anticipation of playing something that's technically challenging. So what I would recommend doing for the next week or so when you're practicing is just get a sticky note or just a piece of paper and write down the words "be mindful" on that piece of paper and put that somewhere where you can always see it. Maybe stick it on your guitar, and just when you notice it, just continually remind yourself to check in with what's going on in your body when you're playing. Are you relaxed? Are you stiff? If you're feeling tense and stiff and awkward, then pay attention to your breath. Notice, are you holding your breath, or are you inhaling and exhaling continuously? Just remind yourself to do that. If you notice that stiffness, that tenseness in your body, just remind yourself, okay, if I want to play to the best of my abilities, I have to breathe like a normal person. I can't hold my breath. I can't fuel that anxiety. Just try that over the next week. I think you're going to see some positive results from doing so. I certainly need to remind myself to do it more often as well. But I think if we can all just remind ourselves to breathe more often when we're playing things that are hard, we are going to play guitar to the best of our abilities a lot more often.